Hello everybody, it's time for another art stream. Why does my layers always vanish into the ether when I start up this program? Anyways, here we go. We are picking up where we left off last week with more of this scene. Foodie bearing down in for her snacks. If we finish this scene early, which is very likely, then I'm gonna hop over and do some work on backgrounds, because that also needs to happen. And there's like I think the next part has clean backgrounds that I'm almost done with, so we'll hop over to that, but we'll do the fun stuff first. We'll have to do the fun stuff. It's all fun in its own way, but definitely characters are more fun for me than backgrounds, even if I can do them fine. Anyways, if you are just joining, hope things are going well for you on this Sunday. Or at least going better for you than Toriel and Asgore here. I hope they've got the music at okay volumes. It's like, ooh, test it out now and all that stuff. I got in my usual Saturday stuff. Or actually, it's not Saturday, it's Sunday. I don't even know what day it is. It's a weekend. There we go. I'm gonna put more teeth, more teeth, more teeth. I have a little, whatchamahoo, an enamel pen. It just says teeth, 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 teeth. Because, you know, teeth. Teeth. Now, did I announce stuff properly? Yes, I think I did. Okay. There's somebody coming. Yeah, I think this is what, 8 pages, and we're already on some of page 6, so we're gonna fly through these probably pretty quick. I'm hoping this week I can also finally do a bit more work on the Tenna boss battle. Try and get some stuff done for that as soon as I finish Anthrofractal first. I also gotta do that. So that's all new animation. Ah. Shit, did I do the... Yeah, this is fine. Anger Chris. Anyways, if you're watching, please say hi. And also, I do have, what is it? My only problem with starting drawing in the morning is, like, my brain's not fully awake, so I'm like, what are words? How do I speak a word? I also have the sketch request page open. So forgive my sleepiness, even though I'm nominally a morning person. I haven't had any hot chocolate like I usually do. Well, that's more of a weekday thing, or weekday morning thing, than a weekend thing anyway. Well, I discovered recently I still can't do caffeine. Ah, thank you for subscribing. 28 months is super long. That's crazy. Thank you. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Again, hopefully you're doing better than Chris's parents are here. Gotta go also buy more crickets for Alfie's today, because they ran out so fast. I guess not that fast. Yeah, even worse than last week. Now they're in some severely dire straits. Cause Susie has the munchies. I mean, when doesn't she? But especially now. Whew. I guess it's about the same peril as last week. Oh, excuse me. Need water. Oh. It's like that early morning dry air. Ooh. Exactly. I have to deal with angry Chris, which is never a fun thing to deal with. I'm thinking, like, how often do we see Chris get angry in canon itself? And they don't show much emotion anyway, but specifically anger. Doesn't seem to come up that often. Beware the quiet ones, true. That is true. And this page already done. I might have to turn off the background so I can see what I'm doing here, because it's a mess. It's a mess of lines. Beware the quiet ones, for they have big angry monster friends. Well, Susie will have fun at least. Somebody will be having fun, but not them. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Beware, beware. Yeah, I guess that's true. That is the valid crash out. That was pretty frightening scene, so yeah, there you go. Beware the quiet ones. They will throw you into the trash and kick the crap out of you. And you'll deserve it. Who knows what'll happen with that in the future? Somebody else will have to find out, because I don't like playing the weird route. It's not for me. That is true. That is true. It is a cool scene. Them exerting agency in that way. Nope, that really happened. I'm very curious to see again, like, how much, like, Chris will allow in terms of that and their autonomy. Yeah. It is the most emotional they get. They're pretty dang upset. Oh yeah, the scene with Noel. And you can tell it's pretty bad because, like, it just hurts them when they put the soul back in. Like, oh my goodness, that sucks. It doesn't even hurt the player. They're just hurting themselves. But they're so angry, it doesn't matter. So I still don't understand that whole, like, oh, I hate Chris, I had to make him do the weird root thing. I'm like, why are you beefing with a fictional teenager? That's weird, man. That's weird. Yeah, I should probably do these on special lines. Ah. Ah. Big teeth. Yeah, for sure. It's deeply uncomfortable. Also, just the way it's like, I still can't see what I'm doing. I turn that off. Also, just the way, like, the whole scene is kind of fuzzy. Like, it loses focus. Everything is just kind of in this nightmare vision. The way that it, like, keeps cutting in and out. Just, ooh. Creepy, creepy, creepy! Just kind of make you wonder, like, how far they would have gone if they hadn't been interrupted. Weird root, Geno root stuff does know how to do it. Creepy, like... Yeah, that's how it kind of feels. Oh, yeah, yeah, now that I think about it, like, there is this kind of, like, tinnitus ringing, like... Yeah, that's the kind of thing you associate with, like, being so angry that you can't see or hear straight. Everything is just kind of, like, a blur, and... Yeah, you get, like, a ringing in your ears. Ooh. Absolutely capturing that feeling. Exactly, it do be creepy. his mom like, you have a dark side? Toby's like, oh. And then again, oftentimes the parents, they don't quite realize that. Creepypasta root is in fact creepy. Exactly. We all got a scary side. It is useless to deny it. A spooky spook. Well, not even just spooky. Just... Yeah, sometimes you don't even know, like... You're like, oh, I would never do that kind of thing. And you don't know if that's actually true or not until you're actually forced into that situation, and then, like... You might do something that surprises yourself. Not me, I'm morally pure and have no unexamined biases. Don't criticize me. Everyone else has their dark sides, not me though. Nothing's the matter here. That's when you know it's extra scary. Well, yeah, somebody will have to tell me what happens in Chapter 5's Weird Root, because I don't play Weird Root. Y'all can tell me what happens, and it will be freaky. Oh, something I think I need to do at some point. I need to look up, I know there's like a couple different, Deltarune, like, ARGs or creepypastas or stuff out there. I need to, like, look those up. Kind of see what people do with them. I'm kind of curious. Oh, I think Frollo addressed his dark side. He just blamed it on other people rather than himself. I wish I could do Eldritchrune ARG, but I'm still just working on the actual comic for that. I am curious for other reasons. I'll just put it like that. I'm curious for other reasons. I'm curious to see what other people have done already. For secret reasons I don't want to talk about right now. I'm just curious. Okay, back to Krish. Like, I know there's, like, staggering winds, but I don't know what happens in it. And I think I watched Asheville Lane, which was, like, neat at the beginning, and then when it got further on, I'm like, this is kind of starting to lose me. Yeah, confirm. No, you can't confirm that, otherwise I'd probably have an NDA or something like that. I don't have that. Oh yes, me, who's famously very good at doing ARGs. I don't know if there's any others aside from the two that I'm aware of. Probably. Chris is like, I'm gonna get my parents eaten, but I am gonna cry about it, probably. You would cry too if it happened to you. Which, to be fair, I would mostly cry if this happened to me. I do a lot of crying. I just realized that these are kind of peeking out. We're gonna push them over there. This is spectators on like the left side of the screen. But yeah, if you're aware of any more of those, link me to them. Hook me up. Oh, that's fun when you finally get to the scene. You're like, I've had this scene in my head forever. Sometimes you gotta like get it out sooner even than when it happens chronologically. Sing the bells, 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 bells. I saw that movie 3 times in theaters. It was so cool when I was a kid. Bells of Notre Dame. They don't make them like that anymore because that was also like a huge risk in order to do that movie. Yeah, and in like the book, it's very sad. Everybody dies. Phoebus is kind of awful. I need to get more books onto my to-read list for when I'm doing chores and stuff, because I just finished Bram Stoker's Dracula, and one I'm like, oh, I should do Frankenstein, but it's on hold. But I did A Christmas Carol, but that's like 4 hours, so I'll be done with it very soon. I know, the backgrounds are so pretty. It's all hand-drawn. It's all hand-drawn, it is. And it looks so good. Although not all of it's hand-drawn. This is they were trying to work out crowd animation a little bit. Like they had pioneered this a little bit with the Lion King and the Stampede scene. And then for this they varied it up a little bit with like the human crowds. Especially like that one really amazing shot absolutely blew my mind when I saw it, where Quasimodo swings down from the tower and like the camera's following him around the cathedral and then like down as he goes and, you know, frees Esmeralda. Like all the crowds there are CG. That's when they were first experimenting with that. This was what, 1995? Still very new technology. No, I'm pretty sure 1995 is also when Toy Story first came out. I saw that in theaters multiple times too. Although watching it again like a while later, I was like, oh, the human characters look pretty rough. They didn't have that down very well. Even the dog looks rough. Like the reason why they made them all toys is because like the characters that are supposed to look natural look pretty rough. They were still figuring it out. That is so many chapter. Well, then again, when I started on this, I was like, oh, this will be a fun little side diversion thing. Oops, now it's taking up all the time because I've got so many, like, drawings to do for it. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, it makes sense in those. It's not very out of place CG. And it also helps that, again, they're doing this just specifically with crowd scenes so that you're not really focusing too much on one element. The element is the crowd. So it's fine if they all kind of blur together a little bit. And so I just realized that she's supposed to be breaking the panel here, so I'm going to have to... Get out of here, panel. Get out of here. Susie needs to do a big mom nom. Yeah, I heard that was one of the reasons why the new version of The Thing didn't go over very well, because they used a lot of CG when the original The Thing was like all practical effects. And it looks really good. It looks timeless. Honestly, one of the big reasons why like practical effects still look good compared to CG effects a lot of the time is because when you have a practical effect, you are using the natural lighting that is already there, like exists in real life, and with CG computer you have to replicate that lighting in the computer. That is really difficult to do. They're definitely not paid well enough to do it, and it's like an uncanny valley thing. You can tell when the lighting is off, when lighting does not match properly. Yeah, I'm a big chicken with horror. I still haven't actually seen The Thing, but every time I like see the practical effects, I'm like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's cool. Like the practical effects of it look really cool. Looks like it'd just be a really fun like job to have, something cool to do. Oh, I refuse to see the Lion King remake. I refuse. Get out of here with that. I hate it. The Lion King is like still my favorite Disney movie. I have very strong attachment to the Lion King. Just like when it came out in my life and all that stuff. I deeply care about the Lion King. So I refuse to see whatever nonsense butchery they did with the live action. Nope. Keep that away from me. And the funny thing is, I think they actually could have made that work. The idea of, oh, it's the Lion King, but in live action. If instead of trying to, like, replicate the movie exactly, they're like, here's the Lion King, but we're going to pretend that the lions are real, so we're going to shoot this like a documentary. And, like, have David Attenborough, like, no talking lions, no singing, no music, just, like, have David Attenborough, like, you know, commentating, and then you still have the story of the Lion King, like, in this new format, like a documentary. Treat them like they're real lions, but like, oh, there's this whole, you know, thing going on in the background. Like, that would have been cool. That would have been an interesting idea. But of course they can't do that. Yeah, whoa, that lion assassinated that other one. Like, imagine, like, trying to, like, the way that we do documentaries with animals and, like, basically assigning stories to them based on how they behave. But in this case, there is a story going on. But that would have, you know, not sold tickets so much, because it's not like the movie I saw when I was young. Yeah, I like Kiss the Girl from Little Mermaid. I didn't see that one either. I don't like it. Also, the weird thing is with the Lion King, they said, oh, it's realistic, we have to make it realistic. It doesn't even look realistic. Like, real animals, they emote. They look like they are, you know, they look like they make expressions and stuff. These animals, these fake animals look dead. Dead eyes. Yeah, Little Mermaid was one of the first movies I think I saw in theaters. Disney movies. And that blew my mind. My little kid mind. I'm trying to think if The Little Mermaid was the first Disney movie I saw in theaters, or if it was they were like re-showing Lady and the Tramp. I'm not sure which was my first one. Probably have to ask my mom or something. Yeah, exactly. Real animals emote. I gotta turn the panels back on, I think. Like, I can see emotions, like, in the face of my little lizard. It should not be hard to replicate those in CG. They are extremely expressive. Domesticated animals, and especially, I think, have kind of learned to be expressive because they depend on us for their needs, and we, you know, take a lot from expression, so they've kind of picked up on that and leaned into that in order to get what they need. Wild animals probably less so because, you know, they depend on different things for survival. Yeah, exactly. It would be such an interesting challenge. Like, how do you get a story out of, like, documentary footage? If we can do it with, like, regular wildlife animals, like, reverse engineer it. The yeens! The yeens! I gotta turn off her foot. I can't see what's happening. I do like hyenas. They are neat. Holy crap, that baby lion fell into the stampede. Whoa! And then we see the baby lion is saved by its father, but oh no! Yeah, exactly. Like, domesticated animals, like, basically pick up on behaviors they need to do in order to get what they want from humans. I remember reading about a little trial they did to demonstrate the difference between domesticated and wild animals, where they had, like, a group of, you know, new puppies, like dog puppies, and then wolf puppies. Basically, newborn wolves. They hadn't really been exposed to you know, wild stuff yet. They were little wolf puppies, and they were trying to raise them the same way, just to see if there were any differences and stuff like that. And an interesting test they did was that basically, like, you know, they had some food up on a high spot, and to pass the test, basically the puppies would just have to look at the human in the room, you know, make eye contact with the human, and then the human would, you know, hand them the treat that's too high up for them to reach. And the dog puppies, they picked this up immediately. Like, they immediately were like, oh, eye contact with the human. That will, you know, give me the food. Whereas the wolf puppies kept trying to, like, jump up and reach the food on their own. They didn't connect. If I want something, I need to, you know, directly address the human in the room. Yeah, that's true. Well, I still like naked mole rats. I think they're cute in their own way. They're probably Rufus is cuter than a real naked mole rat. Right, how much longer do we go? What are you gonna nom? Actually, I should probably erase that panel now since I gotta do it anyway. Ah. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. We're working more on Eldritchrune today. Toriel and Asgore are in bad shape. They gave her the puppy eyes, exactly. Chris knows. The puppy eyes will do it. All baby animals are either the cutest thing ever or very ugly. There's no in between. Let's see, what size am I at? We're falling for that. I'm falling for that. Let all the other stuff. Yeah, you ever notice that? Like, 2 stream streak, yay! Cool. And keep it up as long as we do every Friday night and Monday morning. Or not Monday, Sunday morning, whatever day of the week it is. It's not Monday. Not for me, anyway. What am I drawing? I am working on some ending scenes for Eldritchrune, which is my current Deltarune AU. And the stuff from the ending, because the ending is going to be like 20 parts long. I already have it all written out, so I'm kind of poking away at it while I'm also doing the rest of the story. Which, hopefully I can do a little bit more of this week, because I really want to get the Tenna boss battle done. And I'm making a little progress on it, but I've been really behind because just too much work. Oh, I think the streaks, you have to like turn that on and count them or something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, baby birds often look pretty scraggly. No, friggin' AI crap. When will it explode and die forever? Like, I kind of stopped paying attention to the stream things. I don't remember quite how it works. Really tiny Newbert? No, sorry, no Newbert. Also, Newbert looks different in this AU. It looks like a big red crystal. I will draw a Newbert if you get enough points to request it for the request thing, though. I'm Newbert. Everybody loves me. I want to see something in like chapter 5 where all the chapter 4 recruits are in Castletown now, and like, I don't know, the organics and the wafer guards and whatever are like, whoa, Newbert, this is our most precious ancestor. Oop, ads. Actually, speaking of ads, I should probably stop. Okay, after this panel, I need to stop and do my stretch break. Gotta do my stretch break. No, that's what the point redemption stuff is for. I gotta fill out that page eventually. Then I'll be able to post it. Okay. Alright, now I gotta get in stretch. Also, if you're new to art streams, because my wrist has problems from overwork, I need to get up about every half hour and do a series of stretches. This helps my wrists stay in better shape. If I don't do it, it's bad. And if you draw a lot, I recommend you do this too. Do not end up like me. Like me and Toby, really, where you just overwork and then all of a sudden you injure yourself and you can't do the thing you really want to do, and it's kind of soul crushing and devastating. I'm able to do it now. Yep, Azzy's on the way. Like, I'm able to do it now because I do constant stretches and exercises, and also I had a whole bunch of physical therapy and stuff, and I still do massage therapy. Do that a lot, free of ads. Oh, thank you. This is what I do most of the time. I do a lot of Undertale Deltarune art stuff. Lots and lots and lots of projects. I can't help it. I can't help it. I gotta do it. But yeah, I also have to kind of like limit how much drawing I do per day, and since I draw from my job, that also cuts down on how much I can do outside of work. What style would I go for? I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. Like, what's a really good, like, sketchy style? I've been watching a bunch of like Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix recently, so maybe one of those more eclectic styles. I really don't want to say Tim Burton because that's not a good match for this. That would not work. Are there going to be more comics that this focus on Azrael? Yes, there are. I know at least I actually was thinking about this a while back, and I'm like, oh, actually, there's a really important plot point I need to do with Azrael. Probably going to be a two-parter. I will do that at some point. I got to write it still. All right, be right back for one more stretch and water and stuff. Needing more water because it's winter and the air is getting very dry. Yeah, Love, Death and Robots is pretty good. There are some ones I don't like and some of them I skip, but some of them are really good. I always like anthologies are like a thing I really enjoy. Oh yeah, I mean it makes sense to. I often also draw Susie bald first and then put her hair on top. Oh yeah, Over the Garden Wall. Now that's good stuff. I still need to watch that, especially because I have that on DVD. I can watch it whenever I want, assuming DVD players work. Which, that's another issue. Here comes the Ozzy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, I super appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. And even if you're just lurking, thank you for lurking. It is all good. Bald Susie. No, give her scraggly hair. Is it luscious hair? I don't think so. It's probably scraggly. And your parents, they're important too. I think it would be very bad if Andrew came in and like, oh, your parents just got eaten. We're going right into the panels thing there. But yes, basically there will be another scene with a couple scenes actually with Azrael later. They might be one of the last ones I do before ending stuff. We'll see. I'm not sure what order I'll do stuff in. The Minecraft eating noise, I have no clue what that is, but I'm sure that's not good. No, not Minecraft. Oh, neat. Which one was by the Half-Life writer? I've been kind of hopping around a bit. Again, sometimes I skip some of them. 400 Boys? Okay, I haven't gotten there yet. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of them are like, and then here's the military gang, guys, and then they're gonna fight the big evil thing. And I'm like, okay, that's not as compelling to me. I just watched The Drowned Giant. That one was really good. Zima Blue, really good. There were Alfie's things. Okay, yes, please send a pic on Discord. Please send it, and I will add it to the thing. To the doodle page. While Azrael's yelling really hard, don't do it! Chris is like, holy crap. Actually, let's turn the panels back on. Might as well. Let me know when you've sent it or I'll get the ping on my Discord. Yeah, good work. I'm gonna race through the rest of this part really quick, I think. Yes, there are tunes of the Delta. The Delta tunes, in fact. Alright, sent. Yeah, because they just heard their brother going like, no, don't do it. Crisp. Alright, let me go find that real quick. Dang you, autocorrect. Okay, back over to the doodle page. I'm gonna find a spot in here. We'll do it over here. These are very quick doodles. I don't like that. Change the eye on that. That's not how I do that. Doodle page, snoodle doodles, true. Yeah, if we do this. Exactly. Again, these are pretty fast, so. Let's see. Leg. Wrong way. That. Actually, I'm gonna do the mouth a little smaller. There we go. How do I draw Susie again? With gusto. She looked like Big Dragon. But also no wings or tail. Speaking of tail, there's some. Okay. There we go. Might have to make it a little bit smaller. No, it's about the right size. You are there in the corner, or on the side. No problem. Thank you for doing that. Soon the page is getting pretty full. We're about halfway there. It's coming along. Yes, Susie does have a neck. It's actually quite prominent. Although I do like when people draw Susie just like really big. Or she's kind of like big slump shoulders, stuff like that. Always looks good. Yeah, sure. Looked like Susie had no neck for a second. Where? Yeah, take practice. Okay, this page done. As he jumps in between. Ah! See, that's a bad place to put yourself. Yes, then please show me a proper reference of Scrungle and I will do that. That is what the page is for. This is not appropriate music for this part. Oh well. That's the power of the randomized playlist. I will post, do you mean the thing I'm working on now, or the doodle page right over here, which I should squeeze again? Thing I'm working on now, yes, this will be posted someday. This is specifically stuff from the ending, which is still a long way off. Again, I'm just trying to make progress on it, because it's like 20 parts long. It's probably going to be like, 160 pages or something by the time I'm done, so I'm like, I can't do all that, you know, at the end. I'm going to, you know, poke at it little by little, but it's not going to be done for a long time because there's still lots left to do. But the next regular part of the comic, which should be the Tenno boss battle, I am in the process of working on. I haven't had much time because I've been really busy with work. But this next week and the following weeks, I'm hoping to finish it because I'll have more time to work on it in late November. So that'll be posted by the end of the month, crossing fingers. And that's another long part. It's probably a two-parter. But that one's also in progress. It's just a long one because it's a boss battle. But if you want to see the rest of these, because there's already a lot of art up for it, it's on my Tumblr under the Eldritchrune master post. And I didn't even see his internet search history. Man, what is gonna happen when those two meet? She can't even see his internet search history because there isn't an internet yet. They don't even have electricity. They can't have an internet. Oh, for real, Azzy, what is in your internet search history that Susie was like, dude? And yeah, I will post the doodle page once that's full. Wait, no, that's still a regular one. Susie ate the Wi-Fi box. Dang it, no, we needed that. Why? Also, I just realized I drew through things I wasn't supposed to. Ah! Why did I do that? That is true. We do all have demons in our search history. None of you are free from search history madness. I like how Susie's search history is just like skateboard game, cheated skateboard game. I hate libraries. No, ants, no, get out. We don't want you here. Go outside. I'm very fortunate that I have not had to deal with ants. Maybe because I'm on like the second floor, so the ants are like, we don't want to go here. That's too high. Parents have had to deal with ants though. Get out of here, ants. Get out of here. That's a very specific vacuum. How to tell my crush that I like her. I mean, he does also seem to have a thing for dragons, but with the How to Draw Dragons book. Perhaps my dream of Arrow Ace Azrael will never happen. Alas, alack. Maybe it could. Maybe he did all this stuff and is like, I guess it's not for me. But he does seem like it was pretty dang close with death, so it seems like they were going out in some capacity. I mean, you don't usually have like somebody's clothes and retainer in your own room. I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, it's so funny. Hey, can we see that again? Huh, Chris? Huh, Chris? Also, more reason Susie is probably a dragon, because usually referencing dragon stuff, that's what gets her attention. Chris, why you got that book in here? How to drag dragons. How to draw dargans. This is the one universe that Toriel and Asgore didn't get divorced in, and this is why bad things are happening to them. They forgot about the load-bearing divorce. Yeah, I still haven't seen the third one, but I did see the first How to Train Your Dragons. The Divorce of Karmic Balance, true. Oh, everybody loves the toothless dance. The only universe where they don't get divorced is the one where Toriel also did child murder. It's all making sense. The lack of divorce leads to child murder. That's why you gotta have the divorce. Ooh, drawing tablet. What kind of drawing tablet? I think my first one was like a Intuo something. That was many years ago, though. Yeah, what not divorcing leads to in the pit is labeled ritual sacrifice. Exactly. Somebody might need to make a meme for that. It's like, wait a minute, don't eat that one. It's true. They're still married. That seems kind of like... I kind of wonder how Rudy and Turcom TS6... I haven't heard of that one. Interesting. I'm glad there's more variety out there. But yeah, it's really not kind of clear how great their marriage is going. I don't know. Carol, why don't you visit your husband in the hospital? Like, come on, dude. Why is Asgore the one bringing your husband flowers? And you know what? Don't knock MS Paint. If it works, it works. No, they're not divorced. So definitely Toriel and Carol seem to be on shaky ground. What with your wife, Carol. Your wife, yeah. They can give each other flowers for sure. Like, there's nothing wrong with Asgore doing that. My question is, Wimley, why does Asgore seem to be the only one doing that? Where are the signs that, you know, she is caring about her ill husband? Because right now they don't seem to be there. Is this driver a disc? Because that's good. I'm so mad that we're getting rid of disc drives. Carol kicked out of the lesbian polycule, Toriel and Soroba rip. True. It's all coming together. Why do I have like chips in their teeth? I haven't drawn that before. I don't want to use my own flowers, Asgore. You have to use your own. You can do that if you scrub my toilets. Sounds good, Carol. Well, the disk is the software, probably. You need a software. You need driver in order to run a tablet. And usually put that in the computer. Usually the tablet is not a computer itself as it is a screen. Alright, good luck setting it up. Yeah, I'm excited to get to this part too. It'll be good and emotional, hopefully. Oh man, I just realized we're like at the end of this part. We can already move on to the backgrounds. Gotta finish those backgrounds before I do the next part. The backgrounds I think that I'd be working on are for the part after this part, which would be conversation with Azzy here. I'm both forward and not looking forward to the part where Susie does actually get what she wants. Because that's going to take so friggin' long to draw. Are you ready for crowd scenes? Are you ready for crowd scenes involving people in armor? Are you ready for crowd scenes of people on horseback? Or are you ready for all of it? It's going to suck. That's gonna take a while. You know, I just did this to myself. But hopefully people like it when it comes out, like, I don't know how many years from now. Hopefully not too many. Pre-setup. Oh, that was fast. That was speedy. You do need a disk drive. If your computer does not have a disk drive, then you will need to get an external disk drive, which is what I have. I'm so mad computers don't have built-in disk drives anymore. It's really annoying. So do you have any external disk drives you can hook up? Yeah, I still put music on CDs myself. Mostly to listen to in the car. My car still plays CDs. Although, good grief, I wonder how much longer I can keep that car. It's showing its age. Someday it's just gonna fall apart on the road with me in it. BRB. Good luck. Yeah. It's hard to find external drives nowadays. They don't even sell them much anymore. And I'm like, I still need those. I need those. Please don't take those away. I like having things on discs. I need to make another mix CD of like various chapter 3 and 4 remixes, but I'm having a bit of a time deciding which ones to pick because there's a lot of good ones out there. I'll try and figure it out. Hopefully I don't have any more problem getting my car out of the garage like I've been having for like the last month. Do we got Chris here? Yeah. Actually, yeah, I used to have cars that played cassettes and CDs. That was the big deal. Now I don't play nothing. Hook your phone up to it. Use our touch screen. It's not the worst, I guess, but I do like having a physical object. And yeah, we used to play cassettes in the car all the time. How old is my car? I think it's like 2009 or something. It's pretty old. As long as it runs. But I'm not quite sure how much longer that'll be. Probably should get it get the oil changed again. But I don't use it that often, so. I always forget. I forgot. Actually, I do gotta get the registration renewed next week. Gotta do that. Adulty things. Alright, I will probably still be here. Again, I'm almost done with this part. I'm gonna move on to some background work as soon as we're finished with this. Because that also needs to get done. It's either that or doing some fills on previous parts too. This is like you stopped me right before I was gonna get a snack. I'm snacking. Oh, thank you. This is a very dramatic part, or it hopefully will be. You got kind of surprised. You just told me I could have a bite. Now I can't have a bite. Why can't I have a bite? I've been waiting a whole year for tasty snacks. You know, her crazy long hair all the way down that crazy long neck. Like, you're supposed to be able to eat the parents, not the brother. Eat the dad, not the bro. Eat the dad, not the bro. Oh boy. Boop the danger snoot. Boop the danger snoot. Alright, have fun with lunch. Lurking's all good. What do you mean I can't have brother flavored snacks? Color to draw Susie's head. I mean, if you go to the non-fandom wiki, is another wiki now. You just download the sprites, and oftentimes I'll just color pick from the sprites. Although I do usually alter the colors a bit because like the sprites are often so saturated that it's a little weird when trying to do it like in art. It makes sense in like a game setting, but like drawing, it's like, whoa, this is a very bright. Another hymn but for Wiki True. I'm glad they moved away from fandom. The fandom one was obnoxious. Like, oh yeah, now I can easily access stuff now. Hooray! It's not web PNG files. Hooray! Susie's color in the light world is kind of more like a lavender almost than a purple. And then she's like pink in the dark world. Very bright colors. She pink. Yes, I am the Lynx Griffin. Susie tried to have a nom and now she was stopped from her nom. Unfair. 0 out of 10 stars at this restaurant. Restaurants don't have 10 stars. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said that. Alright, since we just finished this is probably a good place to stop and do a stretch. I can get my things. She's kind of like a mauve, I guess. And then, because we finished this part, we'll move over to backgrounds that also need to be done before I can get to the characters for that one. Yeah, it really is shocking when you like color pick her Dark World palette and it's like, oh, she's just like pink. Like her hair is kind of a darker, you know, magenta, but her skin is just like pink. And I'm pretty sure it is for the purpose of like standing out, especially against the different color palettes. I don't remember where I heard this. Maybe it wasn't correct, but I feel like early stages also like the light world was intended to be like either black and white or like, you know, desaturated colors. Yeah, I color pick from the sprites and then I adjust them anyway, just because, yeah, the palettes are suited for a video game situation and they start to look a little wild when you've applied them to a detailed illustration. You kind of like tone them down a bit. Why is my guy so low res? I don't know. Hold on a second. Do I need to make you larger? Will that help? Oh, large. Help. I got larged. Let's try and do that. Okay, it's a little better. Yeah. Oh, no, too big. Alright, not so low res. I think for some reason when I'm switching it back and forth between, Oop. That's better. Okay. When I'm switching it back and forth between screens, it like shrinks the box for it every time. You're too large. Yeah, I have gamer and artist, and I also have Yapper. I have not used Yapper very much, but I have Yapper. Behold, I will switch. Gamer. Yapper. Back to artist. The rare and elusive Yapper. It's usually I'm either playing a game or doing a draw. They're a gamer, Your Honor. I don't know about that, but, close enough. That's the 3 genders. Gamer, artist, and Yapper. Checkmate, liberals. Those are the three genders. You can't be both. Or all at once. Okay, I'm doing stretchies and I'll get my drinks and all that. Gotta get my orange juice. Exactly, multitask. A lot of multitask. Alright, be right back for one more stretch and orange juice and stuff. Our return. Aunt Tina, where? The three genders are surprise, fear, ruthless efficiency, and almost fanatical devotion to the Pope. Four genders. Oh my goodness, Aunt on your monitor. That is Aunt Tina. True. Okay. Aunt Tina, I know. Hopefully next week I'll be working on the Tina boss battle a little bit instead of ending stuff. But for now, because we finished the clean lines on this, we're switching gears. Woo! To backgrounds. It's background time because this also has to get done. And once these backgrounds are done, then I can also do the characters for this part. Too large. And you can tell from the background it's the same scene as previous. Guess what? It's time for more debris. You know it. You love it. Are you ready for more debris? And then guess what's the background in the scene after this one? You're correct. It's more debris! All debris, all the time. And for that, I will not rhyme. And then if I somehow get through this really quick, I guess, then we'll switch over again to doing some character fills. We'll just pop all over the place today. Just jump around from one thing to another. There's like 10 million things that need doing. At least for the ending. I'm like slowly making progress through the first half, but I still haven't gotten to any of the second half yet. Maybe it'll start to feel like I'm actually making real progress once I'm into like second half stuff. Well, if you hang around, then you will naturally get enough to get 2,500 points, and then you can request something. It is an encouragement to come back to more streams and hear me talk about dumb things, or play you a Vimeo game, or all of those together at once. Yeah, I've only actually got 2 pages left to do. Vimeo game. Actually, I'll find out today what won the poll for the game after Sword of the Sea. My guess is probably off, because I'm pretty sure that's what people are most familiar with. I don't know if I bothered to check. The full version of Off is out now, right? Like, I know that they had like the first 2 zones. Zone 0 and Zone 1 were out, kind of as a demo. The rest is out, right? Otherwise, I'm in trouble. I didn't stop to check. I thought it was just all out. Okay, it is off. That's what I thought. Okay, full remaster is out. Phew. I was kind of worried. I was like, wait a minute. Did I put a game on here that's not actually out yet? I mean, yeah, it's out, but I was planning to play the remaster, not the old version. Even though the old version's got the cool soundtrack. I'm sorry. We don't get no pepper steak. We do get Bone Trussel in Dodon's boss battle, though. Which is very funny. I'm not sure what I would do with that. Like, you can just send that to me, like, over Tumblr or Discord if you want. You mean like a highlight my message thing? I think there might still be a character limit on that. Like, what kind of short thing? So I don't think I have any rewards much for sharing writing, except for, like, highlight my message, the usual kind of standard thing. They always include that. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. We finished stuff with the characters, so we're jumping over to getting some backgrounds cleaned up. And then if that gets done, we'll jump over again and do some character fills, because why not? I can do what I want. You can't stop me. Well, these backgrounds will probably take a little bit of time. Well, thank you for stopping by. You just missed Susie almost eating Azzy. And Chris was like, wait, holy crap, I didn't want that part. I didn't intend that. Yeah, next week will probably be, assuming everything goes well, at least a little bit more work instead on Tenna boss battle instead of ending stuff. Yep, Susie's still causing her Eldritch Terror, which she loves to do. How do you usually run discs off the disk drive? Do you have a... You might have to click on it, open it. Oh, okay, yeah. Especially if it's a YouTube link, I'll probably miss that in chat. Just link me to it over Tumblr or something, or Discord. Okay, if there's install driver, then yes, click that. That will install the driver. That's the part you want. Do you have a Tumblr account? Yeah, you can just direct message me. You should be able to do that from if you just like go to my Tumblr profile and do message. It should send me a message. Because yeah, that'll probably get lost in the shuffle if you do it here on Twitch. Is it supposed to be an EXE? Yes, that sounds correct. Thank you. I definitely do feel like if the half-human Susie thing comes true, and that would need to include Sans, then they would have to have some kind of conversation. Something interesting. I feel like those two have got to talk in some capacity anyway. Like, okay, Sans, where did you get dunked on? It had to have come from Susie. How did you get it from her? Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Ooh, oh. Ooh, no. Brain. You should, is it, working? Should give it some kind of, like, indication that it's downloading the driver or installing it. There should be, like, a little, like, are you on Windows or, Mac? It should be like, I'm thinking about it and, like, doing it. You're on Windows? Okay. You should be able to do that. It might just need to think about it, especially if it's like, depending on how much room you have on your computer and stuff like that. It might need to take a little bit to install the driver. Also, I'm assuming your tablet is not like an extra screen, it's just like a little surface you can draw on that you have hooked up. Also, make sure all that's plugged in. Probably you will have to, well, you'll probably have to do is plug it into the computer via like a USB port or something. And then also just plug it in separately for power. Like for the tablet I'm using, because it's a separate screen, I gotta plug it in USB in order to use the pen as a screen, so it needs the screen thing, and then also it has its own separate power source. So it has many a cord. My work was talking recently about possibly upgrading the version of Storyboard Pro we're using, and if my version of Storyboard Pro stops working, I'm going to be very upset. Because they don't let you do one-time purchases anymore, and I really hate the subscription model. I hate it so much. Please just let my old version of Storyboard Pro keep working forever. The end. Oh, nice. Yeah, Intuos was the first one I used. Alright, light's a good sign. But it should let you know when it's done installing the driver. I assume this is not a Wacom product. This is a different company. I know there's multiple places that make tablets now. I don't remember what they all are. Although if you got a physical disc with it, they should also have like an instruction book or something like that. Just a little pamphlet. Yep, that's how it is. I'm covered in cables at all times too. Okay, make sure that you follow the instruction pamphlet. It'll probably tell you what to do and in what order. Wait, is this the same as... Yeah, this is the exact same thing as the previous one. How good am I at freehanding ellipses? Depends. Let me try and demonstrate here real quick. As soon as I... Copy paste this guy down. Yeah. Is it too small? Okay, I need to get rid of that. Yeah, that's close enough. Basically, if I'm gonna freehand a circle, like this, you know, here's some freehand circles, oval. Woo, swirly. So sometimes they don't connect, sometimes they do. Woo. Sometimes I get really particular about making sure I draw the thing correctly. Anyways, get rid of that. Get rid of that, please. Yeah, sometimes cords just kind of naturally tangle. I have 11 too. It should probably work on 11 if it works on 10. Is 10 like the maximum? Because usually if they have, if you have software, they'll tell you what the minimum is. The minimum requirement is rather than like the maximum requirement. So it should work. I also have 11, even though everybody hates it, but that's what it came with, so. Yeah, most program that runs on 10 should also work on 11. To my understanding. My main worry if they change the Storyboard Pro at work is that my files won't open in later versions, because I'm running like version 7. Please continue to work. I do not want to start paying like $100 a month just to use my software. I hate rent sinking. I hate it. Oh wow, it goes all the way back to XP. Interesting. But yeah, I would be surprised if it worked on 10 and not 11. Usually it should work. Yes, we need you to subscribe. You already paid for it. Exactly. We know you bought the software. We would like you to keep buying the software forever. Please don't stop buying the software, especially after you've already bought it. Ah! I know, I remember the days of XP. Well, that was mostly before my family started kind of switched to Macs. And then I switched back to PC, and they're still with Macs. At this point, it's kind of nice to be able to do that. I'm now comfortable with both PC and Mac. But, kind of wondering if maybe I shouldn't try Linux at some point, although that seems a little outside of my skill range. It would take me a while to learn Linux. I'm not sure. So is that fire or plant? I think it's plant. I might give you some troubleshooting stuff in the pamphlet too. But hopefully it works. Goodness, XP is a while. You can DM me. You can DM me directly. There should be a difference between like ask a question and message is the one that will go to me directly. I mean, if that doesn't work, you can also just go to the inbox and I'll see it. I don't necessarily have to answer it if it goes to the inbox. Whatever's more comfortable. Thanks for practically nothing, Microsoft. Okay. Yeah, I had to switch to LibreOffice because I was like using the Microsoft Office things that came with it, and then some kind of update or whatever with the OS was like, oh, your stuff won't open in Office anymore. You can't open your Word docs and PowerPoints. Please pay us some money. And I'm like, no, thank you. I will get LibreOffice instead. Goodbye. Oh, there you go. Especially since I'm not doing anything fancy with, like, you know, Microsoft Office. I just want to open documents and look at them and write them. Please just let me read my stupid documents. Again, especially annoying now to shove that stupid AI junk in everywhere. Every time I open a script to work on for work, you know, I have to look at the script. It's kind of important in order to do my job. And every time I get that stupid pop-up that's like, this thing looks long. Do you want me to summarize it for you? And I'm like, no, I want you to die forever. You stupid program. I have to actually read the thing that's in front of me. It's my job. Arrgh. Would you like to not read and get dumber as a result? No. I can do that myself. I need you for nothing, AI. I need you for nothing. You are worse than useless to me. Yeah, something you've already written? Oh my goodness, that's the worst. Well, if they can't, sometimes they'll say that. They'll be like, oh, are you sure you want to do this? Because it's not like Windows approved publisher. But you should still be able to run it. I know, do you need me to summarize the script? I'm like, no, I have to actually read the script. I have to have the words go into my eyeballs, and my brain needs to process them in order to put images to them, please. I have to actually interpret the text. That is my job. Oh, well, there is fast. You might need to calibrate the tablet first, too. Underkit Dibble. Oh, okay, if that's how you really feel. Let's run a test. Yeah, once you have the driver installed, you might need to, you can do stuff like check the pin pressure. You need to calibrate it, which is basically like telling the tablet, here, 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 and here are the corners of your tablet. Something made a noise. Ah! Shoot it. No, I'm kidding. And again, it's always a little frightening when computers suddenly like noises. It's like, you're not supposed to be noisy. You're supposed to be a quiet machine. Yeah, I know. That's an especially frustrating thing. Because, like, yeah, AI has been around for a long time. But what I mean is generative. Basically, what they call AI basically being like predictive text and video and whatever. I'm going to try and predict what you were going to say instead of actually having you do it. Like, that kind of thing. It was the USB thingy. But I know there's more to it than just, you know, generating expected responses. That part's really frustrating because, yeah, that was a marketing ploy. They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. They did it on purpose because they want it to be like, they want it to sound like general AI. Like generative even sounds too close to general, as opposed to like, we just created a new computer brain that can think just like a person. When no, that's not what it can do in any conceivable manner. Like, dudes, you can't even figure out the regular human brain yet. Don't tell me you've made a computer one, because you haven't. You haven't. You've just sold that to investors, and the rest of us gotta suffer for it. I do kind of wish in general we had better terms for AI than artificial intelligence, because, like, a lot of the times it's not even that. I mean, heck, we can't even, like, measure regular intelligence. Zombie turning grinder. I'm sorry, zombie turning. Or Turing, not turning. Turing. Well, I can talk. You ever like get this weird fantasy into your head of like, man, what if like, you know, a founding father from like the 1700s or, you know, a medieval peasant was transported here right now? How would I explain the world to them? Like, oh boy, I get to explain germ theory to you. Wait. So it turns out the thing that's causing disease are hundreds of tiny animals that are so small you can't see them, and they get inside your body and eat your body. I'm like, what? Sounds stupid, but true. They're so tiny they can float in the air. They're on you right now. Millions of tiny animals, and technically they aren't even animals. They're just like little constructs of things that might be a part of other animals. We figured this out because we put like 60 magnifying glasses on top of each other, and that makes you see things incredibly small. Imagine if you had the world's biggest glasses and they let you see things so small that you realize that some of the small things were tiny animals. Anyways, normal things to imagine, I'm very sure. I'm not quite sure how I would explain a computer, though. It's like, yeah, this is just, you know, a magical, like, this is a rock with lightning inside it, and that's why we can make words on it. And moving pictures and stuff. Uh-oh, which part is confusing? Aside from me talking, that's clearly not helping. That's clearly annoying. So when is my stretch break? Probably can go a little longer. The spooky clouds. There's a folder with programs. Well, there you go. If you know computer science, you probably could explain a computer to a medieval person a little easier. I guess to a lot of lay people, they do kind of seem like magic. Good tech, indistinguishable from magic and all that. And just like magic, if you use it wrong, it will get you. You'll regret it. Like that joke, you know, back in the day whenever you went on the internet, your computer would scream at you. We should have listened. I remember that. I remember when it did used to scream every time we went online. The screaming computer. It kind of sounds like a bad sci-fi movie from like the 50s. The screaming computer. I guess it'd be the 60s or something though. No, they had computers in the 50s, so screaming computer from the 50s, that makes sense. Does anybody suddenly remember this, like, I think it was like a Disney movie from like the 60s or something called The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, and it was like, this freak accident caused this teen to get a computer downloaded into his brain. Now he's going to use that to win a trivia contest, because that's what being a computer is. You know all the things. I might be remembering this movie wrong. It just isn't working. I would say probably consult the pamphlet that helps you set up it. I would not know what to do in this case because I have not used that particular tablet. I just know usually you need the driver working, need the tablet plugged in, need to calibrate it, all that stuff. To be fair, it is kind of a stressful process getting it, like, once it's set up, you're like, oh, yay! But the process of setting it up is often, kind of harrowing. Probably not helped that the tablets I work with are just incredibly heavy and huge. So it's not just, like, plugging stuff in, it's also like, okay, this thing weighs, like, 50 pounds. That's not The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, but I am aware of that movie. I don't think I've actually seen it. I just know that is the premise. I don't know. Also, have better password protection. Something everyone needs to know. Yay! Oh, bearded dragon. Okay. How old is the kid? Like, a kid could possibly have a bearded dragon, but it'd be good to know how old they are, because sometimes, you know, little kids can be a little rough with animals. The only winning move is not to play, exactly. But, yeah, how old is the kid? Because, like, especially, some type of gastroline. Okay, 9 going on 10 should be old enough then. Because basically you just want to be, like, old enough to know to be gentle. Because baby bearded dragons are pretty small, though it can, like, fit in your hand. They'll grow up pretty fast. They'll grow, like, in the space of, like, 6 to 9 months. They grow very fast. So it helps to have, like, to already have a big tank for them. Like, they'll have if you have a big tank for them, it'll look, like, way too big for them. They'll grow into it very quickly. And basically, you know, you want to make sure you're giving them the right food. which in their case, baby bearded dragons need a lot more meat than adults. The adults should be eating mostly vegetables, but because the babies are growing really fast, they need more protein, so you should be giving them more crickets. They should be small crickets, small enough that they are not a problem to eat for them. They should easily fit in the mouth, so you want to get small crickets or other small worms or something that they can easily fit in their mouth, so they won't get impacted by them. You think you have to feed them 3 times a day, and again, they're growing really fast, so they want to eat a lot. They also need their vegetables. They need to look up a guide to the vegetables that they need to have. For example, I usually give Alfie's collard greens and dandelion greens. Those are the best vegetables for her. They should not have things like lettuce because those are not nutritionally dense for them. They should not have spinach. Spinach is not good for them. There are certain vegetables they need and certain ones they don't. And then you can give them also some treats like berries and stuff like that. That's sometimes food. Mostly you want to give them crickets for their protein and lots of greens. But they'll start out eating a lot more crickets many times a day, and then as they get bigger, they'll get less and they'll switch over to more vegetables. They need water. Probably the most important thing if you're starting out with any kind of reptile, and bearded dragons included, you have to have the right lighting and temperature for them because they are very, reptiles are very, sensitive to the environment. You want to make sure that the environment is right for them, so they need proper setup for their tank in terms of hot spot, a warm spot, and a basking spot. They need a really hot spot to bask in. They need a warm side of the tank, and they need a cool side, so you have to kind of engineer that with the use of lights. They need a heat lamp, and that will create the warm side, and then they still need a cool side to go to. And then that's also very, very important that you get a UVB lamp for them that gives out the proper amount of UVB radiation, because it's very important to reptiles to get UV radiation. And they're basically, you can buy certain bulbs that are tuned to certain reptile species that give out the proper amount of UV radiation. And there's maybe just a couple brands that do it right. So you want something that gives out, and not a small bulb, but kind of one of those bar lights that covers a good chunk of the tank. You want them exposed to a lot of UV radiation. They also need, usually supplements calcium and multivitamin supplements with their food to make sure they're getting enough calcium, because it's very important they have strong bones. So basically, do a lot of research. Look up how the setup should be, because the vast majority of your problems are solved if you have a proper setup for a reptile. And since that will change, depending on the reptile. Beardies need a dry environment because they're desert animals, so it should not be very wet inside. It needs to be pretty dry. It needs to be pretty warm and hot. For Alfie's tank, it's 75 to 80 degrees on the cool side, and then 85 to 90 degrees on the warm side, and then in the basking spot where they're supposed to bask and warm themselves, it's 95 degrees. That's the ideal temperatures. Although I think actually juveniles, baby dragons, it needs to be hotter. It'll cool down a little bit as they get older, but you need to make it hotter when they're babies. She has one warm rock. That's her basking rock. Also, do not get them. People will try and sell you this. Somebody tried to sell me this. Do not buy them the electric rocks that are self-warming. They're you plug it in and it warms itself. Do not get them those, because they can burn your reptile. Because a lot of reptiles do not have heat receptors on their bellies. They have it on the top, because in nature, they are judging how hot a rock is by the sun overhead, because what's warming the rock is the sun. So they cannot tell how hot something is just from laying on it. They need to tell how hot it is from above. And so they can burn themselves on an electric rock. You want to heat the rocks that they lay on naturally with a heat lamp above them, because that's how they judge how hot it is. Avoid people trying to sell you electric rocks. They don't work and they can burn your reptile. So there's a lot of information out there. I think I need to stop and do my stretch, actually. There's a lot of information out there, but I will say definitely the biggest thing is making sure you have a proper setup with, you know, plenty of space. They need, you know, things to climb on. They need things to hide in. They need the temperatures right. They need the humidity right. And good food. It basically, if you have a good setup, then that's most of the work, because reptiles are very dependent on the environment. That's just my advice. But I do think 9 or 10 is old enough to start with a reptile. Basically, if you want the reptile to get friendly, try holding them a little bit every day, just like kind of in your hand, so that they get used to you. Like, especially when they're babies, that's a good time to do it. If you hold them a bunch and then like feed them, they'll quickly associate like you with you know, safety and food and stuff like that, so they'll feel comfortable, like, you know, hanging out with you. Like Alfie's, she loves to just like curl up under my chin or climb up on my shoulder because she knows that I am safe. So I am a comfort spot for her. And if you just start them, you know, young enough where they associate you with like safety and comfort, then you will be a comfy spot for them, and they will like to hang out with you. But yeah, for stuff in the tank, they need a rock. They need some rocks to climb on, especially a rock in the basking spot to, you know, sit in and warm up. They need to be warmed up in order to digest their food. They need some hiding spots because they like to hide. They like to dig holes in things. And they also like to climb. So if you have like a stick, or especially hammocks, they like to hang out on hammocks because those are like little climby spots where they can feel comfortable. And some places will say, like, for substrate, you need to have, like, sand or chips. The vet has always told me don't use that kind of substrate because they can accidentally eat, like, grains of sand or chips or something, and it gets stuck in their system. So you can use either, like, reptile carpet, which is what I do, or a clay substrate. Just something there's not like little bits coming off that they'll accidentally eat, because then that's a problem. Also, hopefully helps the lab the kid get used to using live bugs, because it's better to feed them live insects than dead ones. Live insects they like more, and it's also just healthier for them. But then you also have to deal with you know, taking care of live insects, and that can take some getting used to. It took some getting used to for me. But it was worth it. And now I don't care about the bug. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and stuff. I'm yapping about you, Alfies. Alrighty, I return. Oh yeah, no, I think I included this because it's got like a bit of an Undertale remix to it. Wait, I am the mods. Yeah, it was in Eldritchrune, don't you remember it? That's against the Shower X song. It's probably going to get demonetized. Oh well, it happened. Oh no! Don't throw me in the briar patch. No. Please, Burr Fox. I'm blue now. That's his attack exactly. I'm sorry. I don't know how to help in that sense. I'm not familiar with that particular tablet. My guess would be follow instruction book as much as possible, and if it doesn't offer you troubleshooting, see if you can't get in contact with the company that makes them and help them troubleshoot for you. Oh, I'm sorry. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's okay. Someday the subs will come back. Maybe when I can do personal project stuff more frequently. But thank you for subbing as long as you have. I super appreciate it. It's extremely cool that you guys want to like hang around me for hours at a time while I yap about nothing and draw Deltarune AUs. Like, that's pretty dang neat. Thank you. Especially stuff like backgrounds, which I never think is that exciting, but has to get done. Okay, I'm glad you're having fun listening to me. It's fun to talk. It also helps me stay on task, because otherwise I'll get distracted by something on the internet. And this helps me just be like, nope, just draw and talk. Aw, thank you. Apparently now it's to talk about how do you take care of beta dragons. Oh, well. I was so nervous first taking care of Alfie's though. I like cried a bunch. I was so anxious about it. And even though she's got her own health problems now, I feel not as anxious as I did in the past, where I was just a wreck sometimes about, I'm doing it wrong, it's not the right temperature, she's gonna die, and like working myself up for nothing. Yeah, I've wanted a bearded dragon for a very long time. Before I moved to Canada even, I'm like, oh, I want a bearded dragon. Okay, I'm sorry. You triggered my my yap powers. Okay, yeah, that's my advice. Not 9 or 10's fine for a reptile as long as they're gentle. Make sure you follow all the setup advice, because that's the most important part. It does depend. Like, again, you don't have to walk them every day. You don't have to scoop litter that often or something. Okay, I'm glad the yapping was helpful. Most of the cost and the stuff, again, goes into the setup. They just need the proper environment. They do need a big tank. Like, the tank I got for her is, like, I think it's 120 gallons. Maybe more. It's basically 2 feet by 2 feet by 4 feet. It's a big piece of furniture. So if you have the room for that. Reptile yapper. I've always liked reptiles, even when I was a little kid. And you know, you'd always like have this one weird guy that would come to like elementary schools with like snakes and lizards and stuff, and you don't really ask where he got all those snakes and lizards and stuff. He just has them, and he brings them in and just yaps about them and lets you pet them. I always, like, you know, the kids are like, eee! I'm always like, I'm gonna touch every reptile. Yay for coloring art. Oh, thank you. I'll look for that when I get back to Tumblr. I will look at that soon. I'll be like, whoa. Science. Also, some reptiles can live a very long time. I have a friend who inherited, was it a corn snake? No, it's a king snake. It's like he's a little black snake, you know, black garden snake. Very easygoing snake. She inherited this snake that was like 10 years old, so she was like, oh, you know, it's probably not gonna be around that long, but I'll take care of him while I got it. And it's been like another 10 years, and that snake is still going. So reptiles, some reptiles can, you know, if they're in the right conditions, they can just keep on and keep on. But they are very sensitive to the environment. That's what happens when you're in... Wait, is it... Endotherm? Okay, no, exotherm is cold-blooded. Endotherm is warm-blooded, isn't it? Good grief, I'm gonna confuse them. Alright, take care. Thank you for coming. Okay, now this is gonna bother me. Is endotherm warm-blooded or is it cold-blooded? I seriously can't remember. You know what I need to do soon? I need to go to an art supply store and get me some like new watercolor paper, maybe like a new set of brushes or something. I want to do this like this Christmas instead of just spending all my time on Flight Rising. I want to do some I want to do a little traditional painting. It's a bunch of small things. I got like some watercolor crayons or pencils I need to try out. I'm like, I need to try some other things. It's been way too long. I like doing traditional art. Just don't do it nearly often enough because work and stuff like that. So if I'm lucky, maybe I can do that over the break. Especially since I won't have like internet distractions because I'm usually pretty not on the internet very much when I'm visiting family. A little bit, but not that much. Okay. Yes, I did see the new set of gel pens. That's very lovely. I feel like those are the kind of things I used to use like a long time ago. I feel like I had a set of like really nice pens once, like these really nice art pens. And I used to use them all the time. And then I started using them a little less, and like somebody, it was either a parent or like another friend, pressured me into like, you should, you know, let the church kids borrow these pens. I was like, okay. And I did. And then by the time I got them back again, like they were all destroyed. Because they gave these nice art pens to like, you know, 4 and 5-year-olds who are pressing really hard on them. They're like not being nice with them because they're like toddlers. And ruined all my pens, and I'm like, ugh. How about you just use my allowance to buy the church kids some different pens that are appropriate for them, rather than my nice pens, which got ruined. New colors, new possibilities, true. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, you can buy, like, you know, cheap pens that are appropriate for kids to handle with the knowledge that most kids are just, like, slamming these things down onto paper and, you know, moving them around. And that's fine. I want them to do that. Just don't use my nice pens for that. Use child-appropriate pens. Or crayons or something. Something that is... where, like, it's not important how you treat the tools. Kids can be rough with them and they'll be fine. But some tools are not intended for children because you are, you know, should not be rough with them. Well, I've read scary things now about how, like, some kids are so stuck on iPads and stuff, they're not even, like, being given pen and paper and stuff. They're not being given, like, crayons to, like, draw in real life, so they don't know how to do it. That's bad. No, a kid should be able to, like, have the basic motor skills to, you know, move a crayon across paper. That's extremely important. And that not being able to do that is kind of terrifying. Like, no, please. Children actually need to develop motor skills. That's actually extremely important. If you have young kids, please make sure you give them, like take away the iPad, give them a pen and crayons. They need to be able to do that. No, please don't give them the tablets. No, don't do it. I know sometimes you're just overwhelmed and you gotta, like, whatever, it'll shut them up, but please. Oh no, not the expensive, like, yeah, I'm sorry, there are toy trains that are made for kids, not the expensive models. Actually, when I was growing up, we had Brio trains. Those were toys, but those were, like, really nice toys. They were, like, you know, wooden train sets. Big old things you could lock together and stuff like that. Those Brios are really nice. And the Brio trains are appropriate for kids because they're, like, big and chunky and, you know, they're made of wood, so if you toss them around, they won't get hurt. Stream local, it might be a, I don't know, it might be a buffering issue on your end. It looks okay to me from here, but my internet might be a little slow, but I don't do streams over Wi-Fi. I'm using the LAN cable, so as good as that's gonna get. Oh yeah, I think we might have had some Thomas the Tank Engine toys too. Did those have lead paint? Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Uh-oh, yeah, lead paint, not good. Maybe should find a safe way to dispose of those. Get kids some new toys that are not filled with lead. Ooh. That's the problem, though. It's like even a little bit of lead's not good for you. Oh, blue ribbon dialogue, Susie. I hope we get, like, some kind of backstory on, like, why now specifically she's like, no ribbons. I don't like ribbons. Who was making her wear ribbons in the past? She doesn't want that anymore. Who made fun of her for wearing ribbons? I don't know. Something about that. The radium paint. No, I don't want to be a radium girl. No, thank you. I know how that story goes. Yeah, it could just be her being tough, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit more to it than that. I mean, she's fine with a tea party. She's like, oh, it's a tea party, but this is okay. But, like, she still won't wear a ribbon. Hello, thank you for coming. Why do they put lead paint on a ribbon? Don't do that. Or cadmium or whatever. Yeah, she's not, like, totally devoid of doing, like, girly things with the tea party, but she refuses to wear ribbons, and it feels like the fact that that's come up, like, a couple times is gonna mean something. The fact that, like, you know, Rouse is like, oh, you're supposed to wear ribbons. She's like, nope. Yeah, she's got an interesting relationship with femininity. In that she seems like totally disinterested in it. Yeah, I know they've used cadmium a lot in like red, certain stuff like that, but I think like lead, cadmium is poisonous. You should not eat it. Bad for the brain. For the blue ribbons, oh no. And that's sad because usually you associate a blue ribbon with like winning, like, you know, blue ribbon, red ribbon, that kind of stuff. That's associated with like first place. Yeah, she says, you know, I always had to be tough. And it's not like she has like disdain for femininity or stuff. She's, you know, because Noelle is certainly feminine, and she doesn't hold that against Noelle at all. She definitely doesn't want it for herself, though. Or at least she doesn't associate it with being tough, I suppose. Even though Noelle's probably the strongest character, Lightner character in the game, but I think it might have been came before medals. Yeah, when I was growing up and I entered like art contests and stuff, blue ribbon was first place, red was second place, yellow was third place, or white was third place sometimes. It doesn't seem to be so much a color scheme thing as like specifically ribbons she does not want to wear, because she won't wear the white one, she won't wear the pink one. She won't wear any ribbon. She's not making it sound like a Dr. Seuss book. Even the bow tie, she's... What did she say in regards to the bow tie? I don't remember her line for the bow tie. That's interesting. Interesting. Because a bow tie is not a feminine thing. That's that's generally considered masculine. I look like a nerd. I guess that ties into the not feeling like it looks tough thing. She outright refuses the... Oh, she won't wear the frayed bow tie at all? Look at... Well, then again, the frayed bow tie is probably not in great shape, but... Interesting that anything ribbon or bow associated, she seems to have a negative reaction towards. Yeah, I can definitely see the bow tie being like, ugh. She doesn't have a problem with the Spanton's glasses, though. I'm sure she's fine with that, right? Because that will give you money. Grief, we're on like the last panel for this. And she uses those. And she seems like she likes the iron shackles because she thinks those look cool. True, I guess they're not, yeah. Are there any other, like, you know, kind of cruddy armor things where she's like, ew, this is, like, cruddy or low quality, I don't want it? I know you can't, like, unequip things from her. It's like, she has to put equipment on her. A spooky sword. She won't, okay, she won't change back to her first axe. Which is probably her hairbrush. Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, where is my hairbrush? Oh, where? Yeah, she always has comments for Chris Rousey Noelle weapons. She likes. I do like the fact that they have like these little moments of like when you equip things, people have things to say about them. It's made of doilies. Oh, what if she doesn't like ribbons because they tied her hair back with ribbons and you can see she had human hairs? No! That's why her hair is like in front of her, all over her face now. I'm not wearing those ribbons. Oh yeah, that's where she's like, you get her the Justice Axe and she's like, watch this, old man. And Noelle's like, you beat up an old man? That's why I think Susie has to, or Noelle has to get back into the party at some point, because we have like all this unused text of Noelle, like specifically talking about items and armor and stuff. No, I'm sorry about that. That sucks. Ugh, that's annoying. No, I hadn't heard about that. I mean, it could be error-proofing, but even then, like, you know, you could just put placeholder text there. Like, why write specific character-focused text on all of these? Okay, I'll have to go back and check that again. That would definitely explain the, you know, soul seed thing. It's really weird. Say that again meme thing? This is like a... I'm not even sure where that meme is from, but it's everywhere. Chris using their human mind control powers on her. I knew you had mind control. Oh, movies. Oh, really? I thought it was fun. There was finally a good Fantastic Four movie. That's bad. That's too bad. Fantastic Four can't catch a break with movies. Poor Fantastic Four. Oh, that's annoying. That's frustrating. Yeah, everybody really hated that 2010s one, so if it did a little better than that one, well, that's a plus at least. It's something. Still rough. I still need to see the new Superman, because that actually, like, I have not cared about superhero movies for a while, but from what I saw of the Superman, I'm like, oh, that looks fun, actually. That looks like I want to see that, so. I gotta do that at some point. Although I probably need to see Frankenstein first, because I want to see Frankenstein. You know, as long as it's an improvement over Man of Steel, I will take it. Because I saw Man of Steel, and then, like, the more I thought about Man of Steel, the more I was like, you know what, I didn't like that at all. Numpad key, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. I'll see it at some point, I'm sure. I'm really bad at keeping up with movies. I need to do that more often. I should. It's good for my vocabulary, but I'm bad at it. Yeah, I think Frankenstein is on Netflix, so I can watch that. I do want to see that one. I want to read the book Frankenstein, but it's on hold at my library. I finished Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I'm like, okay, let's do Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Still on hold for like 4 weeks. No. Fine. You gotta wait for Frankenstein. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be like 10th grade reading, but my 10th grade English class was a giant mess, so we didn't get to it. No, I read a lot of English lit. I was in like honors English classes, but 10th grade English specifically, the teacher got fired halfway through the year, and we never really got a proper replacement. So like pretty much all of the books we were supposed to read in like honors English in 10th grade didn't cover them. Never got to them. I'm pretty sure that included Frankenstein. We didn't do Frankenstein. We didn't do Joy Luck Club. Didn't do Grapes of Wrath, I think. I missed a lot of them because of that screw up. This stream will go until noon my time, so in about 40 minutes. Usually my game streams are about 2.5 hours. Art ones are about 3 hours. That's my typical thing. So yeah, there are some books that I miss in English. Foreign movie rec. Alright, I'll have to see that later. Would I do more streams if I had time? Yes, I would. If I had time to. It's mostly a time thing because, like, you know, I have a job in my usual day. I have a day job, so Monday through Friday I am working at my job. Can't stream. Like, maybe on another holiday I could do another stream, but, next holiday I'm going to try and do some roughs for the 10 boss battle, so I probably should do that off stream. I focus a little better on those things. I can think about it. I like doing cleanups on stream because this is like easy brainless work for me, so I can get it done and also yap. I think what if there's any other like books I normally would have read in English that were missed somehow. I think also sometimes like they give you different criteria for honors or not honors English. Gosh, I'm trying to remember all that I read and when. Also, I missed a bunch of like summer reading things because I switched schools going from middle to high school, so the stuff they had you read like going into high school freshman I didn't do. That was like Catcher in the Rye. I never read Catcher in the Rye. I'm not sure what else. Maybe I should put that on. Yeah, check that out from the library. I'm trying to, I'm trying to read some classic literature that I haven't gotten to yet. I finished Dracula, and I did read the Portrait of Dorian Gray, which was quite good. Oh, Macbeth. Oh, that's a pretty good play though. You know what? Maybe it's because I had a good teacher for it, but I actually really liked when we did Hamlet. We had a really good covering for Hamlet and made it like really, it felt, dramatic and accessible all at once, so I liked Hamlet. What did I do for Thanksgiving? Well, I am in Canada, which has a different Thanksgiving than the U.S., but I was raised in the U.S., so when I was in the U.S., I used to, get together with my mom's side of the family. We would do that for Thanksgiving. I don't go home to California for Thanksgiving anymore. That's too much. But I have started doing Canadian Thanksgiving with friends, where we just get together potluck style and have dinner. We did that this year, and we also played some Settlers of Catan, which I lost. But it's all good. Elementary school did Shakespeare plays? I think that's a little young. I think you would have to abridge that. Like, okay, middle school you can start doing some stuff like, maybe Romeo and Juliet. Although I think Romeo and Juliet's usually like high school. But elementary is, I think, a little too young for Shakespeare. Like the way because it is like, both poetry and kind of also, talking so much. No, we did not have roast turkey, drenched maple syrup. I think we had a beef pot roast. It's very good. Romeo and Juliet, also good if you have the right teacher for it. Beef. Beef is good. I like beef pot roast. I will say, I'm trying to think of like, okay, what's some other books appropriate for younger ages? I think you can start like Edgar Allan Poe in middle school. Oh yeah, there's some minor one-off characters for Romeo and Juliet, the nurse. I read a lot when I was a kid. I read way more than I do now. And even now, like, mostly when I talk about reading, I'm talking about listening to audiobooks, because I don't have time to, like, sit down and read. But, you know, as an adult, I have, like, chores and crap to do. And it's like, I don't want to just do the chores. So, like, putting on an audiobook is a really nice way for me to, like, you know, get some literature exposure in while I have to do chores. So I've started doing that, and it's been really nice. Helps me get a few more books into my, you know, media diet. In one way or another. Am I almost done with this? Because I'm approaching the time when I need to do a stretch. Yeah, I felt like I was a much better reader when I was a kid. I'm not as good as an adult. It's kind of sad. And I know it's good for you. Like, it's good for your brain to, like, keep reading and doing, like, mind puzzles and stuff. The older you get, your brain's a muscle. You gotta keep it in shape. So, keep reading. I also need to find more, like, you know, exposure, you know, expose myself to more books that are kind of different from, like, school reading. I want a wider variety of authors, too. I've tried to read, like, some N.K. Jemisin. Enjoyed some of those books. Yeah, like, reading an audiobook properly, that's a whole thing. It's difficult. But if you get somebody who can do it right, like, it's really fun. Like, another book I finished recently was, Watership Down. So I'm like, I want to read Watership Down. I've never read that. And it's quite long, and, like, but the audiobook version has, like, really good voices for all of the characters, so I was just enraptured. I really liked the reading of Watership Down. They got all the characters down really well. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, if you're doing history, you do have to read quite a bit anyway. Alright, we're going to finish this and then take a short break, and then I guess pop over and do a little bit of a fills, because why else not? My little brother probably reads more than I do because he teaches history, so he's got to do it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind more nonfiction, too. Like, I mostly read fiction, but I'm down with more nonfiction. I've read some nonfiction books this year. Usually, unfortunately, they're like, ooh, this is hard kind of things. So it's a little tough to get a nonfiction book that's, you know, not depressing sometimes. That sucks. Yeah, you gotta get a teacher that's, like, you know, really good with history. It's so important. My high school AP history, U.S. history class, that was so difficult. We had to write so many essays a week, like 4 or 5 essays per week. Yeah, for fiction stuff, I've been reading a lot of T. Kingfisher, because I really like Ursula Vernon's work. It's always really good. So if you want some, you know, some fun horror, some cool fantasy that's like subverting tropes and stuff like that, please check out T. Kingfisher. They've got a lot of work out. I guess N.K. Jemisin is also fantasy stuff from a more like black perspective, so that's been pretty good. There's so much stuff out there. Alright, is this done? Have we finished these backgrounds? I think so. Ooh. Even realistic fiction, yeah. Yeah, I've read a few, like, you know, not really high fantasy, but like realistic fiction kind of stuff too, where it's still like, you know, there's a little bit of a fantasy or sci-fi premise, but it's still kind of set in the real world kind of thing. No, that's not correct. No, not nonfiction is, you know, a story that supposedly really happened. Fiction is a story you made up. I don't think it includes stories. I think nonfiction has to be like about things that actually exist, whereas fiction is about something you made up. Like if you have like a book that's set in the real world and has real characters and nothing fantastical happens, but you know it's still made up, I would say that's still fiction. You ever do art studies? Not much nowadays, but I should. I just don't have time for it. But I would probably be better off if I was doing more studies. During my hiatus from work, I tried to do some life drawing studies because I'm like, oh, I'm feeling really sloppy. I got to try and do a little practice. So I did that a little bit. Did some basic life drawing, quick studies. And it would not hurt to do that more. If you can do it, please do. Just when you have a job, we start running out of time for it. Could I maybe do a study on stream at some point? Maybe. I'd have to pick a good thing I want to study. I think something I should study is either I can always do life drawing anatomy studies. That's always good. I should probably also do like a value study. That's always something I've needed a little work on, is like working out values. Do a little of both. If people really want it, sometime I'll try a study on stream, especially if I don't have anything else better to work on. You can see me struggle to lift weights, basically do my artistic weightlifting with my flimsy art muscles and be like, ah. So basically, do I do studies? No, but I should. It is pretty hard to find time for them when art is your job. And then I also want to do stuff for fun, for my own projects. It takes up a lot of time. And again, I kind of want to do some traditional work too, but I'll do that over the break. I don't know if I've read any of Ted Chiang's stuff. I did read all of the Murderbot diaries. Those are really fun, so I need to check out the show at some point and see how they did, because I like the books. Those were fun. That was like the first thing somebody recommended to me when I started doing audiobooks, though. So I got through like the Murderbot series pretty quick. I'd probably put that under fantastical sci-fi. So where's the science fic? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it all depends on people's preference. Sometimes people want like sci-fi that's really rooted in reality. And then sometimes people want science fiction where it's like, oh, this is basically almost fantasy but with like, space themes. I think the last sci-fi book I read was Ursula K. Le Guin's The Left Hand of Darkness. That was really good. I would just recommend Ursula K. Le Guin in general. Like, please stop reading Harry Potter. Start reading Earthsea. It's a lot better. Yeah, Trek is, at this point, is just as fantasy as Star Wars, I'd say. Well, maybe not just as fantasy, but it's definitely not hard sci-fi. It's pulp sci-fi, which nothing wrong with that. Pulp sci-fi is great. But Star Wars is probably more space fantasy than sci-fi. Okay, man, I'm gonna have to, if you want to keep going, unless I stop now, we'll have to pop back over to other stuff and maybe do a few fills or something. We charge through the character lines and charge through the backgrounds for this, which is good. I can mark them off my giant sheet of progress for the ending. Someday I'll be full of rainbows. Someday. Right, except sci-fi promise, huh? Oh, nanotech, yeah. I'm sorry about the tablet not working. That's frustrating. Well, I guess that speaking of like nanotechnology, like basically making people immortal, you got something like, 17,776. That's a really cool sci-fi premise. I should check out the sequel. Because I really liked that one when that was first came out. When that was first came out. That's not correct. Grammar. When it first came out. Yep, this is all house destructions all the time. Or at least the Dreamer house destruction. But we will pop back over to, I guess, Holiday house destruction. Both of their houses are getting messed up. Those are neat to look at, not good to experience, though. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch and water and etc. I'm coming back. Susie! Yay! We love you, Susies! Okay. Don't have that much time left, but I'm gonna mark all these as done. We're pulling on through that. I turn off the ref. Back to you. Okay, I do like Finale a lot. I'm gonna pop over to my list real quick and see. Okay, what am I doing? Character flats on part 4. Okay. We can poke at those a tiny bit. Let's see. I think these are open. Open! Hope you don't have the text on them. Nope. Okay. No, don't look at that text. Don't look at it. Okay. Don't look! We're doing the fills. And we still don't know what Des actually looks like. Clifton shit. No! Oh, that's frustrating. Also, no wait, I want this color. Thank you. I love how when I click on grab this color, sometimes the eyedropper's logo, I don't know about that. Return of the King vibes. That's pretty crazy. I know, but like what she actually physically looks like. Like we do know like a lot about her as a person. Or at least I think we can surmise a lot about her as a person. But what does she look like? It'll be very interesting, like, comparing, like, all the fan interpretations of her the same way, like, everybody had all these fan interpretations of Carol before we saw Carol. It's like, oh, we weren't that far off. Yep, now we're on Knife. Because we finished the backgrounds, we finished the character cleans. Let's, do a little bit of a character fills while we're here. Because we can. Yeah, chapters 3 and 4 definitely like, oh, by the way, Des, have we mentioned Des? Des is haunting the narrative. I don't know how I got the library bird design that well. Like, everybody just interpreted it as a head, and I'm like, well, what if that's actually his whole body? I guess he would look kind of like a big bird if that was the case, and then, like, that is what it was. Oh yeah, fandom in the game. Yeah, I think a lot of people got Tenna right. TV head seemed a good possibility. We did get a Tenna tease early on. I feel like people were kind of like mixing up Tenna and Mike a bit for a while. Yeah, we got the TV in chapter 2. Yeah, oh yeah, we did get the borders, and that's kind of like, oh, yep, he looks like that. Yeah, Des never has a good time. She's always getting screwed over. Sudden donkey. Basically, sudden Donkey Kong country. Oh, banana. Man, I remember seeing, like, that final thing of, like, the wings unfolding around the Fae Point, thinking, like, wait, was this the angel? Are we fighting the angel? And turns out, no, that was a Titan. Like, woo! Oh my goodness, there are still some people hanging on to chess theory. I'm like, guys, no, don't. It's okay to be wrong. Move on, focus on other things. It's already been here the whole time, true. Like, if I am wrong about half-human Susie, I'm gonna be like, okay, I was wrong. Can't, you know, spend time wallowing over spilled milk. Let's focus on what we've actually got, kind of thing. I could very well be wrong. I have been wrong before. Many times. Can't even say if the Ralph's an English line anymore. I know, that's kind of a little bit rough. Those were not stabbing. Those not in my instructions. Is there an I'm wrong song? Am I gonna have to sing that? You'll have to send it to me so I'll know to sing the I'm wrong song. Very, very sorry that we got it wrong. That is true. That is true. I will say I'm glad Chris is not the knight. I was not a fan of Chris Knight, so I'm glad that was proven wrong. I'm standing, I was wrong. I'm singing the stand wrong song. Oh, from Gravity Falls. I should rewatch that. The right number song. But yeah, I'm a little bit about theories that are like, no, it wasn't proved wrong. We can still do it like, you know, Woody again and chess theory. I'm like, guys, no, it's okay. It's okay if you were wrong. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay to be wrong. Yeah, Chris made the Chapter 3 Dark Fountain, and now it seems pretty clear that the Knight made the Chapter 2 one, just because, one, Des always said she would take me to a place like this, and then also, like, Somebody large could fit inside this closet. Just like in chapter 4. Which, extremely funny, because people did not like the idea of Knight hiding in the closet. And that turned out to be the case. Oh. Whoopsie doopsie. It's okay to be wrong. Good. Keep being right. Wait, shouldn't it be the other way around? Yeah, I mean, it seems like the Knight is capable of moving into the light worlds, because Susie noticed something, but there could be something weird going on there. Definitely, it seems like their ability is limited in some way. They are not as free to move and do things as they are in the light world. I do get the feeling we'll be seeing a Dark World made by Noelle, though. Especially, like, thinking about it now, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's someone very, very wonderful about, you know, Chris, Susie, and Noelle. Like, aside from the fact that they're main characters, because they are, and, like, a lot of stuff revolves around them, we now have, yeah, minor blood warning, we now have 2 out of 3 of those have made a Dark Fountain, and it seems like Noelle's gonna have to in the future. So that would be 3 for 3 of them making, like, these are the characters that make a Dark Fountain. Chris's fountain was messed up. What I was mostly thinking that, like, okay, somebody's gonna point this out. Ralsei's gonna know, like, Tenna's gonna know. And they seem to have known, but, like, not really brought it up. I will say, I am curious to see Birdley's Dark World in, like, a darkly curious kind of way. Get it? Darkly curious? What does his Smartopia look like? Do we want to know? Can we handle this knowledge? The true Smartopia. Yeah, that is true. I guess the thing of they knew, and they also knew not to mention it to the group as a whole. Chris just like, yeah, don't you say anything. Mostly, I need to work out in my head, like, how much Ralsei probably knows, because I really feel like Ralsei's got to know something about Chris being in on the conspiracy. I don't know how much he knows, but I don't think he's totally ignorant on that. Hello, thank you for coming. Coming in a little late, I'll be stopping soon, but we're doing a little bit more before then. I know, I'll let you make it next time, Chris, like, Susie, honey, sweetie. Also, thank you for following. The prophecy seems to, like, be either very generic or very specific, kind of depending. That is true. He did know Susie made the second sanctuary. He just automatically knew that. So I don't remember her saying... Maybe he was listening in at the part of the battle where she says, I screwed up making this Dark World, and that's where he got it from, but I wonder if he knew before then. I thought he would be madder about that, and he just kind of just like, nope, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Oh yes, I'm pretty sure it did appear. I might have just been distracted and not seen it. I don't have a sound turned on, so I don't hear like a little ding if somebody follows. I just like, if I happen to notice it, I'll be like, oh yay. I probably should add a little bling, you know, a little noise. I could do that. Yeah, I guess it could be either prophesied or she was desperate. I'm really curious to see, like, okay, how much of what Susie specifically has done is in the prophecy, considering how prone she is to breaking it. How clued in? I think Alvin knows something, but not everything. I think he was convinced to get out, you know, Garrison's remains to bring him back to life. I really can't help feel like Alvin was kidnapped the same way that that Undyne was. It just happened off screen. I find it really weird you just don't see him in the church at all. You don't see him in like the Dark World or afterwards. Where is he? What happened to him? I feel like somebody nabbed him off screen in order to like be like, okay, another guy they won't get the code from. And we won't find out until like next chapter, and people are like, huh, where'd Alvin go, kind of thing. Do I use Streamlabs? I use Stream Elements. Yeah, that is true. Like, he could be at home. Call it a hunch. Call it a hunch. I feel like something might have happened to him off screen. Like, again, if he got his father's remains out, specifically because, okay, somebody might revive Garrison, then why was he not there at all when Garrison was actually revived? What happened with that? Garrison. That's how I pronounce it. I like Garrison. Did they ever say how to pronounce it? I pronounce it Garrison. Which one is correct? You make the call. Probably is the Garrison. He probably has already had those in the drawer, yeah. Although if he's always had those in the drawer and wasn't actually intending to bring him back to life, then he might not be in on the conspiracy at all. It just feels like if he had that stuff out, I feel like somebody put it into his head that, hey, we could bring your father back. And that would be just like really compelling argument for him to, you know, hold on to his remains. Because otherwise it's like, yeah, you're just kind of keeping your father's corpse in your office for no reason. A little weird, my dude. Yay for voicing cool characters. Yeah, I gotta stop soon. I'll probably do it after I finish this page off, because it's going pretty fast. It could be a sign of desperation, I guess, but even out of desperation, I'm like, what were you if you weren't hoping to bring your father back, what were you hoping to accomplish by just kind of having his corpse around? Oof, that's pretty dark, yeah. You didn't even bury your father right, and he's judging you. He's judging your inability to write Lord of the Rings sequels. Alvin, please. Please. It can't be that way with the mage baddie. Yeah, I don't know if the mage baddie, the mage person exists in this universe or not. Maybe they're from long ago. I'm jealous. Karen and Asriel were all sick of you being smoochies. Smoochies. Although, on the other hand, it does kind of make sense for, like, little kids to be like, ew, mom and dad are kissing, ew. Like, that's just how kids are. Because he didn't appear in Susie's Dark World. He appeared in the third sanctuary, which was made by the Night. So basically, same. He came back to life by a Dark World made by the same person, which is the Night, which means they probably know Garrison. Basically, only the second sanctuary is Susie's Dark World. Third sanctuary is the Night's again. It's a Dark World sandwich. I do find it interesting that, like, yeah, chapter 4 was long. I do find it interesting that, like, okay, you've got, like, for the Darkners, half of them are in stone in the first Dark World, and then half of them are not stone or stone in the second Dark World, and then the third Dark World, they're all just kind of mixed together. Like, there's nobody that's stone in the third one. They're all there together. You're long. For long. I don't know. What I do find interesting is that, like, okay, this lighting changed for Susie's Dark World, but not Chris's Dark World. We know Chris made the 3rd chapter, but they didn't make all of them. So, how is the lighting of the mind of the knight and Chris the same? Yeah, it does seem like to expect change different aspects of it. He would be there. I still haven't come up with a good design for him yet. I know I should, but I don't have like a scene idea for him, and I haven't designed him yet. So whenever I get a good design for him, I'll put it out. But I haven't come up with that yet. He's a tricky one for Eldritchrune for some reason. I don't know what that is, but Chapter 1 in Castle Town, yeah. Right now, until I'm told otherwise, I think the only Dark World that Chris made is Chapter 3's TV world. And that everything else was made by the Knight or somebody else. Could be proven wrong on that very easily later on. That is just my assumption so far, until I'm told otherwise, is that Chapter 3's Dark World is the only one made by Chris. We'll find out if that's true. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they did make the bunker fountain. That would be interesting. I guess it depends a whole lot on what the heck is going on with that. That could be interesting. Also, good question, when was that made? It seems to be kind of like a long-running Dark World in there, if it's been there kind of the whole time. We sealed it tight, so it's fine. Just don't let it leak out. Alright, as soon as I finish this page, we'll be done for the day. Nope, Chris does not like it. They do not want to go near it. It represents bad things for them. They are not enjoying it. It's been there the whole time! I'm scared of whatever crash out Susie's gonna have when she finds out things. Wait, I don't need it. 15, that's too big. Where is... Good grief. Select, modify, expand 5 pixels, not 15. Chris no like the shelter. They don't like it. Yeah, I still like stuff from chapter 1 a lot. So much interesting, weird things going on there. Chapter 1 is so auraful. Indeed. And I think that's where I'm going to have to stop for today. A good place to stop. We got a lot done today. Yeah, why were they scared of it? I love Chapter 1's vibes. Good vibes. What a thing to get that Halloween. I played it as soon as I was able to, and it took like a really long time, and I was like just glued to what was going on. I love Chapter 1. I love all the chapters. I don't think there's any bad ones in there. They're all good. All good stuff. All good stuff. But yes, it is now time for me to stop, I believe. Again, we got backgrounds done. We got character lines done. I got a few fills done. I hope we talk to them eventually. 15 at the time. I know, Susie backstory. No, my girl, my girl. Oh, I hope we get more in the future. I hope so. So probably next week I will, it'll be Eldritchrune, but it should also be, I'm hoping I can pop back over to current stuff and work on the 10 boss battle. Well, also next week off probably, but I gotta finish, Sword of the Sea first. Yeah, I think Chapter 4 is my favorite. 3 is probably the one I would like to replay the least, I'd say, but there's some really fun stuff in Chapter 3 I do like. And etc. Yes, I know. I'm just still talking. But yes, there will be, we'll finish Sword of the Sea next Friday. Next Sunday, there will be more art, probably more Eldritchrune. Again, if crossing fingers, I can do some 10 boss battle stuff. We'll change it up. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. I super appreciate you being here and hanging out with me and following and all the other cool stuff you're doing. Thanks for hanging around with me. It's so fun. And I enjoy talking with you. But yes, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Alrighty, and see you later.